So why don't we talk about a guy named Canion instead? Notre Dame has offered a 2024 wide receiver, Isiah Canion. Why is this particular wide receiver so important?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting prospect, Aaron. I mean, one thing I love about covering recruiting so much is that no two recruitments are the same. There's definitely ones with similarities, but um, you know, I actually just, got a Facebook notification 10 years ago today is when I started in this industry. So it's been a full decade for me, and this kind of recruitment you don't see often. Again, you see them similar, but not quite like this one. About 2.5, 3 weeks ago, Kenyon did not have a scholarship offer. Now he's got, it's a modest offer list, but usually you don't blow up in February during a dead period, of your junior year. Vanderbilt, Indiana, Georgia Tech, and then Notre Dame comes out of nowhere and offers him. The kind of connection here, Darren, is he's from Warner Robins, Georgia, which is home to Chancey Stuckey, of course, Notre Dame's receivers coach, who's from that area. Interestingly enough, Canyon's late grandfather coached Stuckey in baseball when Stuckey was a kid. I think that was kind of interesting to mention. Yeah, Notre Dame got in contact with him just, I think, like a couple weeks ago. And then before you know it, he's on campus. He was at Indiana, a school that's offered him on Saturday. Drove up to South Bend Saturday evening, had dinner with a couple of Notre Dame coaches, and then Sunday he had his visit, got the offer, after a presentation with Chancey Stuckey. So, you can find my interview with Kenyon at Blue and Gold. He had basically told me that, look, it's early in my recruitment, but Notre Dame's going to be tough to beat. And he's a player who, On threes ranked him as a high 3-star, a borderline 3-star, or excuse me, a borderline 4-star. It's a really good ranking to get for your first one when you got your first offer less than a month ago. He's someone who I think is just going to continue to rise up the ranks. I haven't logged a prediction at On Three for him to land at Notre Dame yet because there's really no telling where this recruitment goes from here, Darren. I mean, I think the nation is now kind of on alert about this kid, and I think that many other big time programs will offer. On his junior tape, he had to fill in at quarterback, which this play right here for YouTube audience, saw him throwing the ball there. He had to play some quarterbacks to help out his team. He played receiver, he played corner. I mean, the guy is just all over the field. And interestingly enough, J.C. Stuckey also was a high school quarterback. So yeah, you even got that little connection there on top of them being from the same hometown and even the little family connection. So yeah, I think this is definitely a player to keep an eye on. Again, not going to be a highly ranked guy if he's ranked at all, depending on which website you look at. But this is one where, okay, folks, you can't be upset about Notre Dame getting on a kid late, but then also get upset when Notre Dame's on a kid early. Like, we can't have both. So this is going to be one that Notre Dame's on him really, really early. You might not be fired up because he's not ranked highly. Just wait is what I would say to that.
Well, let me then ask this question since he's not highly ranked right now. Do you see a trait or two that projects to be a guy that can be a helpful football player at a school like Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, his size, I think he's around like 6'3", 190, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 6'2.5", 193 is what he's listed at by On Three. And he's got that size. He's got that size to combo with his athleticism. Talking about him playing quarterback, corner, and receiver. He knows the game of football really well. He's playing against really good competition down there in Central Georgia. I mean, he's just kind of a freakish athlete that's been a diamond under the rough, a diamond in the rough. And my Notre Dame sources are just raving about this kid. They think his upside is enormous.
Many times, as we've talked through the years, you've mentioned a kid like this that's kind of under the radar, then all of a sudden, boom, pops up and he starts getting offer after offer. And a lot of times because kids don't maybe go to the right camp to get the recognition. Is that the case with Isiah? Is there anything that kept him under the radar for so long?
Yeah, I mean, you don't go to the camp. Maybe you played a little bit more of a low profile school.
Okay.
And I think part of it, Darren, is just the domino effect in college football recruiting. If that just one school decides to take a chance on you, that's a big domino that falls, and then many other fall. If that school, it's the 50-50 if we want to offer or not, and they decide not to, no domino falls. You're under, the radar a little bit more. So that's how you see it happen a lot of times. But yeah, he got that first offer again. I believe it was from Indiana. When a Big Ten school is your first offer, that typically is an eye-popping one, and it's definitely worked out for him.
Notre Dame recruiting update with Mike Singer on the Blue and Gold YouTube channel and Budweiser's weekday sports beat on WSBT Radio. So let's talk about some high school players visiting South Bend this week.
Yeah, just a couple to my knowledge. And Notre Dame had Canion on campus last weekend, as well as Cameron Clark, a pass rusher from Tennessee. And two, to my knowledge, on campus this week, you have Kellen Lindstrom from Springfield, Missouri, Glendale High School, 4-star pass rusher, 6'6", 240 pounds. He's a guy who I honestly don't know a ton about. He's, what I like to call a ghost when it comes to the media. I mean, you try to contact and, hard to get a whole lot back. And so I don't know a ton about his recruitment. I mean, you look at his offer list. He's definitely got some good schools on there: Wisconsin, Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa. And then he's blown up a lot recently: Oklahoma, Bama, Tennessee, LSU, Michigan, Oregon, USC, of course, all those schools in addition to Notre Dame. So yeah, pretty good news that Notre Dame's getting him up to campus. People I talked to are very excited about him, think he could be a good Notre Dame fit. There always is a few Notre Dame kids per cycle that are just a little bit more, I'm reserved, I'm not a big me attention guy. Notre Dame's just the place for me. It kind of reminds me of Brennan Vernon last year. I mean, Brennan Vernon didn't want to talk to media. The dude just wanted to go skateboard and play his guitar and go hit people and play football. I love those kind of kids. They might not be the best for my business, Darren, but hey, personally, it's fantastic. So yeah, Kellen Lindstrom will be on campus, as well as Kevin Sperry over the weekend from Prosper, Texas, class of 2025 quarterback, Darren. As the month goes on, me and you will talk about more class of 2025 quarterback, Sperry being one that Notre Dame really likes. They've only offered 3 so far. I don't see any of those 3 honestly ending up at Notre Dame between Ryan Montgomery, Bryce Underwood, and Antoine Hill Jr. Those are the 3 names. My guess is Notre Dame's 2025 quarterback will not be one of those. Fighting Irish really like Sperry, from what I'm told, 6'1", 190 pounds. Pretty strong offer list early on: Baylor, Florida State, Texas A&M, Oregon, and Tennessee, TCU, Arizona State. Bunch of other schools have offered Sperry. So yeah, Notre Dame sources do like him a lot, and it wouldn't be a shock to see him getting offered by Notre Dame.
With spring practice just about 2 weeks away, how do you expect Marcus Freeman to use spring practice to help recruit? And your crystal ball, do you feel like Notre Dame might get a couple of commitments during spring practice? Is that something that could possibly happen?
Yeah, I think by June, Notre Dame should have maybe 3 new commitments. They're at 8 right now. And I think we talked about this in last week's show. Yeah, they're at 8 right now. I could see them being about 11 going into June. And then by the start of the football season, they'll probably be at 17, 18, something like that. If not more. This is obviously a total guesstimate at this point. But yeah, I've been asked a ton lately because it just hasn't been a whole lot of new commitments or predictions for these 5-star recruits to go to Notre Dame. Is Notre Dame slacking? Is Marcus Freeman not doing a good job recruiting? Folks, calm down. Just take a deep breath. It's March. Okay, it's March 7th. Let's calm down. It's because this is what's funny to me, Darren. What does Notre Dame need to win a national championship? What do they need? What do they need, Darren? Just say it.
They need really, really good players.
Okay, a quarterback. They need a quarterback,
yes,
right?
Okay, yes.
You need a freaking quarterback. Notre Dame has one of the best in CJ Carr. So when Carr gets dropped in the rankings, everyone's like, this is ridiculous. He's a 5-star caliber player. These rankings are stupid, right? That's what we hear. But then On the flip side of it, if these players aren't ranked very low that Notre Dame's going after, and you're like, why are we going after low players? Are the rankings your truth or not? You got to pick one, folks. You can't have both. They can't be the stupidest thing ever when Carr gets dropped, and they can't be the truth when you just want to know who Notre Dame's recruiting and all you look at is a ranking and that's what you base it off of. You can't have both. You just got to pick one here. Or you just kind of be like me and you just kind of take it for what it's worth. It's interesting. It's a data point, but I want a lot more context than just a ranking. Rant over, Darren.